cable news rankings for the past week are out, and it's not looking so great for Fox News. In the coveted 25 to 54-year-old demographic, Tucker Carlson's old 9 p.m. slot, now filled by Sean Hannity, averaged less than 100,000 viewers. For reference, Carlson's last show earned over 270,000 viewers. Yikes.
Glenn Greenwald speculated about these numbers amidst new leaks of Tucker Carlson's communications while at the network. Glenn said, quote, "There's obviously decision by Fox to wage a massive war on Tucker Carlson's character, partnering with both the New York Times and Media Matters to do it, and it's extremely odd for many reasons, beginning with the fact that he hasn't uttered a negative word about them. Since Tucker's show was taken off the air, there has been what could reasonably be called a collapse in ratings, especially among young viewers on Fox's other shows. I don't know if this is a strategy to win back viewers or what, but it seems odd." And he went on to say, Glenn Greenwald went on to say that he still likes Fox, likes appearing there, that he thinks it does good work shattering the neoliberal consensus and so on. So it does seem to me that Tucker, more so than perhaps other personalities at the network, did have a younger audience, and maybe those people have departed with him. Numbers are down overall. Although they were still pretty good, better than competitors for the other programs. My guess is over time the numbers will be steady and stable. Fox has a very loyal base of viewers, and I'm predicting that eventually they'll fill that time slot, and that person will do about as well. That's what happened when they replaced Glenn Beck with the 5. That's what happened after Megyn Kelly's exit. Tucker himself was sort of a replacement for Bill O'Reilly, although they changed the times around a little bit. Anyway, while it's been tumultuous to part ways with a lot of these hosts in the past, ultimately, Fox's viewers love Fox and they tune in. Now, it could be the case, however, that among those viewers, Tucker had a slightly more eclectic audience. He actually had a lot of Democrats watching him for a look into the intellectual trajectory of the Republican Party. So I'm not saying it's going to have no effect at all, but I think people are probably overhyping like the demise of Fox or something along
So I
those
don't
lines.
think that Fox has the demise, to your point, that prognosticators are saying it does. Fox has made many shifts in terms of big name-stay individuals who helped to, in many ways, build the network. And to your point, Tucker actually took somebody else's spot. That's kind of how news works. So I don't fully understand why people are acting the way that they are acting. Like, nobody's crying for Tucker's bag. Tucker's not crying for his own bag. He's going to be rich multiple times over. Mm-hmm. However, coming off of the Dominion voting issue and the suit that they ended up having to pay out, coming off of a lot of the negative commentary and the inflammatory things that Tucker Carlson basically built his brand on that network, it's interesting to see now who potentially could fill that slot, because quite frankly, he amassed an audience because of the wild things he was saying. He was that type of personality. With that being said, those people have largely found a new home, at least for now. They're going towards Newsmax. They're looking at other, alternative, stronger right-leaning, or they consider stronger right-leaning networks. But the most interesting thing about that overview to me was like the conversation about younger viewers. Younger viewers aren't watching cable news generally, no matter who's on it. Right. 71% of younger people, and they quantify that as ages 21 to 40, are getting their news from social media.
We're young people.
We're young people. I was like, they made us all feel good. We may have bad knees, but we're all young people. That 21 to 40 demographic is getting their news on social media anyway, from various social sites. Mm-hmm. Much to my chagrin, TikTok is where a lot of people are getting theirs from. It's not Fox News. It's not MSN. It's darn sure not CNN. It's not a lot of things.
Well, for the most part, I agree with you. But sometimes it's clips of those shows do well. Like on YouTube, this is hard to quantify. But like I'll see, segments from Fox and CNN that were blocks on the television show, and then on YouTube they're getting like hundreds of thousands or even millions of views from what I presume is a much younger audience, because YouTube is a younger audience. So it's not. So you're right. The people who are literally turning on their television and like watching their screens
which is what Nielsen is actually recording.
Which is what they're recording. Yeah.
But
the reach is bigger because the audience is bigger in the other ways it gets consumed.
Well, if you say a bombastic thing on either the left or the right, of course it's going to get picked up by social, and people are going to watch it multiple times, even if they've never sat down and watched your show at all. And Tucker was very known for saying bombastic things, pushing white replacement theory, making negative and extremely derogatory comments about immigrants. There was a lot of there that was extremely problematic. And when you make those problematic statements, of course people are going to watch it, not necessarily in his primetime slot on Fox, but it would get traction across social media. So if we're counting that, absolutely. But normally speaking, no. Fox has the viewers they were going to have to begin with, and those who are wedded to Tucker Carlson in the same way those who are wedded to Rachel Maddow, though she didn't get fired. Rachel Maddow is now only doing one show a week on MSN, one night a week. The same people who are watching that time slot regularly aren't watching it anymore because they're not trying to watch her Philly in person. They were trying to watch her. So I think that every network goes through this to a certain extent. The more interesting part for me was the argument that the New York Times and Media Matters were essentially in collusion with Fox around basically being negative towards Tucker Carlson and his exit, when the New York Times and Media Matters have never been a fan of Tucker to begin with. This is them doing what they normally do. But I think that they're digging in a little bit more because every few days we get another leak of a text or another leak of an email that might have been questionable. And to Media Matters, like, this is basically red meat to the base of digging into things that they consider impropriety in media. They've been doing this for a while. That's their job.
We talked about some of these leaks yesterday. The first one Media Matters published was really weird looking, the video, and some people questioned, I think totally reasonably, whether it had been manipulated because it looked weird. But then I was thinking about it more, and I'm like, well, if they're gonna if they're gonna manipulate a video to make him look like he's saying something embarrassing, why wouldn't they make it really embarrassing instead of just kind of like, this is the odd banter that
we
happens
agree there.
behind
I thought it was going to be,
show.
if they're going to create something out of nowhere, we're going to AI this thing through. I'm going to make it a lot more embarrassing than what was there. I thought that video was unequivocally just not a good one overall. It didn't have the hit that I think Media Matters expected it to have.
I don't know what they think is so salacious about these. It's a banner before, you're trying to get your guests to be excited. You say things. It's like, I didn't get it. I didn't get what
they would have done a better job of just like splicing together clips of his actual news shows because those have a lot more inflammatory language.
That's their full-time jobs at Media Matters and other places. The Tucker watchdogs, right? The people are like, oh, I can't believe what he said.
There was a lot more bombastic things said actually on screen while the cameras were rolling than it seemed to be behind the scenes when they were trying to release this gotcha moment. I was like, okay, and what else? Am I missing something in this video? Because I didn't see it.
Right. The more interesting accusation is someone at his former place of employment cooperating in these leaks and trying to damage him. Is it someone on his team? All of that kind of stuff.
No, I absolutely think that's happening.
Yeah. Okay.
Anytime, because this thing is like a busted faucet. It's not just a leak. Like they just sledgehammered that thing. At that point, you have to know that I don't know who he crossed in the wrong way over his time there, but somebody is very vigilant in trying to get as much out there as possible. And I think what they're doing is basically breadcrumbing, and there's going to be something much bigger on the line, but they're trying to do it in very small doses, at least for now.
Well, we will be paying attention for when bigger stuff comes out. More Rising right after this.